Alright, for those who just joined, can you hear me? Let's see if I can... Alright, I know all the buzzings in the background earlier, at least. I have yet to figure out if me trying to crap off will do the trick or not, but... If you couldn't tell by the title for some reason, I am streaming because I thought I would cover the upcoming AMA that's going to start in 5 minutes. If you're unaware, Roblox is going to have an AMA about one of the most controversial updates, which is game publishing, and, you know, Roblox Kids and Select, which is not the worst thing, but the worst part about it is that if you don't age verify, you'll all be relegated to essentially Roblox daycare for some reason. That's what people are calling it on Twitter anyway. Which is kind of wild, but I get why it's being called that way. Per se. Alright, let's see here. And you're probably going to hear me type for a minute. You know, if the stream is stable for 2 hours, then I'll take note of the changes I've done and stuff. Because, you know, it's great to finally fix all the issues with the streams you had. And if you want to, by the way, check all the questions out before I do. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments because, you know, why not? Streams you had. And if you want to, by the way, check all the questions out before I do. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments because, you know, why not? Streams you had. And if you want to, by the way, check all the questions out before I do. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments because... See, I wonder if I should straight up... Why not? Share this whole thing to add. And if you want to, by the way, check all the questions out before I do. Certain somebody at least. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments because... See, I wonder if I should straight up. I will. Why not? Show you guys the window in and if you want to, by the way, actually, check all the questions out before I do. Certain somebody at least. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments because. See, I wonder if I should straight up. I will. Why not? Show you guys the window in and if you want to, by the way, actually, check all the questions out before I do. Certain somebody at least. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments because. See, I wonder if I should straight up. I will. Why not? Show you guys the window and if you want to, by the way, actually, check all the questions out before I do. Certain somebody at least. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments because. See, I wonder if I should.
And it, you know, went up.
Why not?
Dreams
Sure,
somehow
you guys the
things
window and
CAD.
And if you want to, by the way, check all the questions out before I do.
Certain somebody at least.
I'll post the link in about a couple of moments because.
See, I wonder if I should.
And it,
you know, went up.
Why not?
Dreams
Sure, you
somehow
guys the
things
window and
CAD.
And if you want to, by the way, check all the questions out before I do.
Certain somebody at least.
I'll post the link in about a couple of moments because.
See, I wonder if I should.
And it, you know, went up.
Why not?
Sure, you guys the window
CAD.
And if you want to, by the way, check all the questions out before I do.
Start this whole thing
very shortly. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments because.
See, I wonder if I should.
And
went up.
Why not? Sure,
you
you guys
look at the CAD.
And if you want to, by the way, you can still do all the questions out before I do.
Start this whole thing
very shortly. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments because.
Thousands. Yeah, I wonder if I should.
And why not? Sure,
you look at the CAD.
And if you want to, by the way, you can still do all the questions out before I do.
Start this whole thing
very shortly. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments because.
Thousands. Yeah, I wonder if I should.
And why not? Sure, you guys
look at the CAD.
And if you want to, by the way, you can still do all the questions out before I do.
Start this whole thing
very shortly. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments.
directed
to our leadership.
Yeah, I wonder if I should.
And
that's
totally gonna end civil war. And if you want to, by the way, you can still do all the questions out before I do.
2:30
very shortly. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments. Directed to our leadership. So. And that's totally gonna go. And if you want to, right, you can still do all the questions out before I do. Very shortly. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments. Directed to our leadership. So. And that's totally gonna go. You could have had, right, you can still do all the questions out before I do. Very shortly. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments. Enough of me blabbing. And that's totally gonna go. Rocket, you could have had, right, you can still do all the questions out before I do. Very shortly. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments. Enough of me blabbing. Oh my gosh, you guys are totally getting roasted. Rocket, you could have had, right, you can still do all the questions out before I do. Very shortly. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments. Enough of me blabbing. Oh my gosh, you guys are totally getting roasted. Rocket, you could have had, right, you can still do all the questions out before I do. Very shortly. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments. Enough of me blabbing. Oh my gosh, you guys are totally getting roasted. Rocket, you could have had, right, you can still do all the questions out before I do. Very shortly. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments. Enough of me blabbing. Oh my gosh, you guys are totally getting roasted. Rocket, you could have had, right, you can still do all the questions out before I do. Very shortly. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments. Enough of me blabbing. Oh my gosh, you guys are totally getting roasted. Rocket, you could have had, right, you can still do all the questions out before I do. Very shortly. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments. Enough of me blabbing. Oh my gosh, you guys are totally getting roasted. Rocket, you could have had, right, you can still do all the questions out before I do. Very shortly. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments. Enough of me blabbing. Oh my gosh, you guys are totally getting roasted. Rocket, you could have had, right, you can still do all the questions out before I do. Very shortly. I'll post the link in about a couple of moments. Enough of me blabbing. Oh my gosh, you guys are totally getting roasted. Rocket, you could have had, right, you can still do all the questions out before I do. Select very short. I'll post a link in about a couple of seconds. Enough of me dissing. Oh my gosh, you guys are totally getting roasted. Well, 30, select very short. I'll post a link in about a couple of seconds. Enough of me dissing. Oh my gosh, you guys are totally getting roasted. Well, 30, select very short. I'll post a link in about a couple of seconds. Enough of me dissing. Oh my gosh, you guys are totally getting roasted. Well, 30, select very short. I'll post a link in about a couple of seconds. Enough of me dissing. Oh my gosh, you guys are totally getting roasted. Well, 30, select very short. I'll post a link in about a couple of seconds. Enough of me dissing. Oh my gosh, you guys are totally getting roasted. Well, 30, select very short. I'll post a link in about a couple of seconds. Enough of me dissing. Oh my gosh, you guys are totally getting roasted.
Okay, I apologize for all the wild noise in the background and crap. I'll be back again. Okay, I'm back again. I had to assist with matters outside. Roblox is so focused on investors, they ruined their whole vision. Okay. All the questions better be grilling them. I hope there is a roast somewhere. I kind of hope they do get roasted. Y'all better tear them up. Genuinely do not give mercy. Let's see if any of the first questions have been answered or not. Because it's been like 16 minutes. I have zero clue if they even answered any questions. I don't even know if people literally... I might have to go back down, I think. But... Matt Kaufman is involved. Unholy Bazooki is crazy. Alright. Any minute now before the whole thing just loads. Okay, there we go. At least we're finally being allowed to speak our opinions on a condition, maybe, but optimistic? Oh boy. Like, who knows if these updates have allowed me to be optimistic before Roblox went public, or even the dynamic head update from hell. And 22 hours ago. 22 hours ago again. I wonder if I should just skip straight down to the bottom of it or not. Because if I do that, it'll be something. Chief Creator Ecosystem Officer. This is why we have to pay Roblox 70%. That's crazy. Holy Yap Fest. There is no way this person is totally not either using AI or is it. But I don't know. I don't expect AMA to go as civil as Roblox is maybe intending. Alright. Let me go straight to the bottom. Maybe then I'll be able to see all the questions being answered. What is truly happening with this entire thing, and why is it 19 minutes, 19 minutes. Post delete by author. Has any question been answered, like, at all? No? Oh boy. They have not answered a single question during this time. Like, unless I try to refresh this entire tab, you know, will I essentially oh, wait a minute. So not only that they made a whole post regarding the upcoming, well, was upcoming update, but they also managed to straight up change the post that's being posted in. Well, that's just bonkers. So that explains why I haven't seen anything for 22 minutes. Alright, here we go. Now we should be able to look at all of the lovely questions that are totally not... Okay, that is not what I asked for. Oh, this is just getting stupid, isn't it? Okay, we're back to the original requirements of the whole AMA. It's gonna slowly load for whatever reason. And yes, Matt Kaufman, Nick Tornow, and Flad, I don't even know his last name anymore. I could probably go back to the stream and find out, but again, let me quickly go to the old AMA post. Yeah, Fled Loktev. Whoever on earth this guy even is. Stay on topic. Be clear and concise. Limit your question to a paragraph or less.
1 question per comment. Good luck with that. And especially the last one. Be respectful and follow the official rules and community standards. Just like Roblox doesn't follow its own motto of respecting the community. But I'm not going to go on a tear about that this stream. At least. With the introduction of Roblox Kids and select gating some games behind age groups. Is there any future plans regarding visibility of avatar marketplace content to those new account types? Very good question. That has not been answered. But the second question has been answered, but not the first. Very interesting. And Nick responds saying, all this other stuff. The vast majority of highly engaging games is also played by older users. Therefore, we expect most games that are engaging will complete the evaluation process quickly. What is most games that are engaging? Are we talking about the top 10,000? The top 1,000? What are we talking here? Because honestly, who cares, Where are older people going to play at? Well, it depends if they're age verified or not. If they're not age verified, good luck. You're going to get sent to daycare, essentially, with Roblox Kids. And you're not even going to see chat still, which... Paying for Roblox Plus with Robux? Wait, what? Paying for a subscription with Robux is definitely a very interesting idea. But, again, I'm not even going to bother trying to get Roblox Plus, especially with the way the company has treated its community. Literally one of its core values is respect the community. What is Roblox not doing? Respecting the community. So, until they respect the community consistently, I will not get premium. Or maybe even play games on Roblox again. Because they have taken things beyond too far. We are just in purgatory at this point. I want to know exactly what was wrong with the old publishing requirements. By your own words, you state it stopped a majority of bad games. What exactly motivated requiring users to have active subscription to continue publishing games? And that's probably what everybody wanted to know, because the December requirement was mostly enough. Like, you could just add minimal things like 2-factor authentication and good moderation standing. Whatever. I wouldn't be too mad if they'd done that. But no, they have to force you to scan your face and or ID and pay $5 a month, which is $60 a year on top of that. And that's where everybody just collectively loses their crap. Because who's going to pay $60 a year just to not even make it back? And don't forget, you have to pay $2,000 for 10 ad credits, by the way. Wait, did I say dollars? I meant Robux. I have not touched that new ad system. And if you guys just joined, welcome to the stream. We are going over all of the AMA related questions that are posted in here. And if there's any issues with the stream, let me know immediately. And I'll have to take a look at it once this whole stream ends at 5:30 Eastern Time. Since the AMA is supposed to last 2 hours. Alright. I wonder if I should post the whole AMA thing onto Twitter, by the way. Or not. Like, I could go about doing this. And now I realize I have to provide the new link. Because the other link is kind of outdated. Because apparently that was the preview. And I just... Okay, let me try this again, because... Oh, that button says send and whatever the heck. And not something completely different. I want Roblox to remove my ID. It's like, if they can verify in a transparent manner that they're deleting their faces or their IDs, I would be a bit less skeptical. Even though I still would be against it, I would still be more inclined to doing all this. But they haven't proved that they necessarily deleted them. They just said they're gonna delete the thing, but again, it's also being sent to none other than Persona, which has a historically infamous track record for not being safe or caring with people's private information. Which is why I've never really used it outside of testing the whole thing. Let's see, there hasn't been any additional answered questions, at least from this first view. Is Plus required to keep a game published? Not all of us want to monetize our games. Like, what if people just want to make games just for the fun of the game? I was that way at one point. Like, sure, making money from my fun games was cool. Or even passion projects, don't get me wrong. That sounds cool. But, again, what's even the point? It's like, even if I quit Roblox, there is a crazy amount of Roblox news. I could just still post it from, like, outside of Roblox. If that even makes sense whatsoever. And yeah, this website has gone to hell, really. Oh, why does it show up that I'm not ID verified? To go along with that, I'm not allowed to have the same ID for 2 accounts? So yeah, no alt account for you, says Roblox, apparently. How can we ensure our game is verified before its update goes live? We have a large player base under 16 years old and don't want to lose time for these players. Yeah, this update... You know, they should have left the whole game thing alone with the December requirements. They really should have. Because there is absolutely no way that anyone with a half a brain is going to like these updates. Especially if it's going to limit the amount of people playing their game, and it's going to limit the creativity that they claim to try and empower. Let me guess, Roblox continues trash update after trash update? Your guess is about as good as mine. And it's correct. Because, I don't know what Roblox is doing in the headquarters before all this happens, but it needs to be studied, okay? Whatever Roblox is doing before all these updates, and this is literally a top 5 worst update. And I was gonna make a top 5 worst Roblox updates, since all of them within the last year has been released, but now I might have to compile 10 of them. Because like 6 of them has been out within the last year or so. With dynamic heads, UGC static heads, being forced to be dynamic, age verification to chat, age verification to basically publish games for other people. The maturity rating thing, which forced every single game, regardless of context, to be closed. Let's see, what else can I think of right now? I've listed about 5. And there's roughly, I believe, 6 or, however many trash updates there are. But my goodness, it has never been more over for Roblox. Oh yeah, and the classic clothing thing, which I was going to have it close in March, but they delayed it to July 31st, August. And who knows if I'm even going to stay on the website by then. It's crazy to say that, but guess what happens when Roblox is just straight up removing your reasons why you're even on the platform in the first place. Like, they literally hate half of the user base, at least. It's bonkers, truly. So yeah, that's about 6 I've listed. I'm sure there's a lot more. That is literally the top 10 worst updates. And like 6 of them are within the last year. And we're talking like from the second half of 2025 and onwards. I mean, like, holy crap, guys. Are we serious right now? Alright, enough of me having a yap fest. Let me go and see if more questions have been answered. ID verification will be a requirement of having your game published and available to all ages. I'm already ID verified, but nowadays with Persona being highly controversial as an identity service, will Roblox ever look to providing the end user other providers to choose from for the process ID verification? If they do that, that would be a minuscule W. Oh boy, hold on. I have to look at this. Hold on. Matt Kaufman said something that's gonna make you either question what you just saw or literally anything else. Because what do you mean you still use Persona after the whole front end got leaked and showing that, yeah, your crap is getting sent to the government? For what reason, I don't know, but I would rather not have my information sent to the government. Because, I don't know, privacy. When has it been a foreign concept to people? So you can have privacy and not do any wrong at the same time. Alright, let me see here if any more... I don't think any more questions have been answered yet, so let me go back up. There was probably one. Let's see, when did it get answered, by the way? Any minute. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, I don't know why it's lagging, but... Can the Roblox company give back the money? I'm sure they necessarily won't give you back all of your money you spent. But we could definitely find out. 7 minutes ago. So it's pretty recent. Saying, today we use Persona because it meets our requirements for security. Well, that's a very low bar for security requirements. Reliability. The reliable regarding what precisely? And global coverage. Yeah, there's quite a bit of coverage, alright, just not the way you anticipated. Importantly, ID verification Roblox is designed to be privacy conscious. I'm sorry? Forking your ID over to Big Brother at Roblox is designed to be... What? I'm sorry, this is just remarkable. Truly remarkable. We do not store raw ID images. I sure hope you don't. You know? What about Persona? Do they store your ID? It's like if Roblox doesn't, does Persona store it? Because that's why Persona's getting sued by, you know, delivery drivers in Illinois. But anyways, we do not store all ID images, and the system is built to minimize the amount of personal information retained while ensuring accountability for creators publishing to younger audiences. Okay. At this time, we don't offer a choice for providers in most regions, as maintaining a consistent high confidence verification standard that, among other concerns, are not subject to client-side exploits is critical for safety. That said, in countries where local regulations require alternative providers, we will support those as needed. Okay, that's just more. And then they're claiming that they're continuously evaluating space and whatever the heck, and about privacy-preserving technologies. Like, how does forking your entire government identity? How's that privacy? I don't get these people. Okay, let's be honest. I really don't get it. The disconnect is clear. Okay. And if there's any problems with the stream, by the way, let me know. So I can go and fix it later. Like, if it flashes the black or whatever, just let me know. Again. I'm gonna post it on Twitter. And, you know, I would have continued using the dev form if they wouldn't have shoved the AI age estimation baloney down everybody's throat. And crap. But, you know, this is what happens when all Roblox cares about is AI. Like, everything they talk about is literally AI. AI moderation, AI game evaluation, AI avatar evaluation. Next video is going to be an AI avatar, not even avatar, just response. I don't know. And some people are saying some of the responses from Roblox staff is AI to some extent. Like, I won't even be surprised. Like, remotely. Okay, what's that from? Okay, there was this question where it says, are there plans to adjust or improve Plus requirement system based on feedback from smaller creators out the rollout? It's like, they should have thought about this before the rollout. You know, which, you know, it's a problem that they just keep having. Like, they release updates, it gets absolutely slammed by every corner of Robloxian society, and then they just maybe improve it. I'm sick of this company. I'm sick of the company. I really am. Can you... Oh. $60 a year to publish is a notable increase in revenue for Roblox. I wonder if that's the entire point of the so-called plus requirement, so they can find ways to make money. Like they're trying to launder or some crap. Like, not actually launder, but you get the point. Why do you continue restricting the platform to people that get added to biometric watch list? Good luck having that question answered, because, yeah, Roblox has an agenda, clearly. Okay, what question is this? Are there Any measures planned to mitigate the impact of 16 plus evaluation process on initial signals? I wonder if those are powered by AI too. For games that are explicitly designed for younger audiences, should we entirely omit advertising during the evaluation process for these kind of games? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I think I've seen this already. And that was like the first ever question to be answered, I think. Let's see. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's taking so long to just load or whatever, but whether it's a computer thing or what, who knows. What I do know, however, is that as long as the whole computer is operating as, you know, as normal enough to see everything going on, great. But okay, let me go down a bit. Oh, you got a question here. With all these new guidelines, how do you expect young developers who will eventually become the future Roblox developers to stay motivated? It will become hard to compete against these giant games, which, to be honest, brings you money. It's just not worth losing the young creative minds who once made the game and trading it for some other people's rules. Stand up, you will lose more players with this update than losing them from the Philippines. Yeah, this is going to be very intriguing to how this whole thing just boils over. And let me see. Oh yeah, Roblox in the latest episode of Tech Talk has brought up AI that can apparently plan, execute, and verify complex game development tasks alongside creators. Like, okay. It's like, I don't know, it'll probably only be great if you can't trust a single soul with whatever the heck you do. But again, that's bound for mistakes. Let's see here. Let me go down and see if they have answered any more questions. Is this a text-based event or a live... Wait. Probably a text-based one. With the way you have to type in your questions and eventually, either wait or hope to wait to get an answer. Like, obviously this person's not going to get an answer because, it's against the whole Roblox's thing of verify your age and ID just to do everything on the platform. Play certain games, make games, and publish them. It's over. Truly over. And it's like maybe... And people kept saying, oh, Roblox is dying. Like, maybe not with the numbers. Like, obviously, Roblox is increasing with numbers, at least up to last year, with the amount of users. But, they keep releasing horrendous updates to the point where Roblox is spiritually dead. Spiritually dead. There's no getting around that. It's spiritually dead. There's no soul left. None. 99% creators who have games that will be available to Roblox selecting kids earn more than the Plus subscription costs in Robux. And many creators earn significantly more. Based on what finding? Exactly. And if you guys are new, welcome to this stream where for this particular stream, look at all the AMA questions and answers
regarding the publishing requirements and the, Roblox making their own version of, for kids and teens. Like separating by age with the website is, in theory, it's not bad idea, right? It's like it'll, in theory, prevent people from, interacting when there's a child and a grown adult. And I say in theory because there's been instances where people have already bypassed the age verification thing, which, that whole thing has been found out with the Philippines as well. It's just remarkable, really, how even an entire nation has found out that they've essentially bypassed the whole thing. But can you give me the reason creators are being charged to maintain Plus memberships? What was the driving factor behind this decision so me and other creators can understand this? I mean, honestly, I don't know if there's going to be any reason that I would be able to understand a Plus membership and age verification that could be bypassed. And not only bypassed, by the way, but then who knows, like, if they're still essentially, verifying these accounts and just putting them on a marketplace site like eBay that has already started cracking now, and then there's other websites, I'm sure. Okay, what question has been answered here? Oh yeah, that's the one I've seen earlier. Tinfoil hat theory is that the new subscription stuff is to keep funding their use of AI because it's got to be eating at the revenue with how expensive it's getting. You might have a point there. Do you know Roblox has around 146 lawsuits? Is that the total number from, like, the last few years regarding lawsuits? Because I know Roblox has dozens of lawsuits across dozens of U.S. states. But I didn't know whether it's above 100 or close to 100 with that number. Here, Brian Cat 2 brought up about Persona front-end leak from months ago. And if you're planning to move away from Persona, will you move to other providers like KID? Which, mind you, KID, I believe, also had a data breach of sorts. So I wouldn't trust KID either. Not only because once all your crap is out on the internet, some nefarious person could save it for who knows what reason. Which is why the phrase, whatever's on the internet stays on the internet, or whatever the heck, like, once if you post it, it won't entirely go away, is true. Because there's going to be people who will say stuff that you post. Inherently. 146 lawsuits according to Google. Yeah, I'm not even surprised it's even above 100. At least not that surprised. By completing age check, Roblox devs will be able to reach an audience of tens of millions of users over 16. And again, that's not even half of the entire website. At most, it'll be half, but again, that's not quite half. And your trusted friends. I don't even know how trusted friends even work. Like, do you even have to be age verified to have trusted friends? Or what? Creators under 18 can link a account to meet this criteria if they don't have a government ID. It's like, who just wakes up one day and it's like, yeah, I'm excited to give Roblox all of my biometric information and pay $5 a month just to have a game that will crater and fall into the pits of hell. Like, I'm not. Okay? As a small game developer myself, this does not move me at all. And if it moves me, it's in the opposite direction. Because I still, again, refuse to give my face or ID to Roblox just to work on a game or anything else useful for the website for that matter. And even if that means I just lose access to the website, so be it. You know, I'm just tired of this piss-poor corporation just ripping off its community on a monthly basis. As of April 16th, Roblox Corporation is facing at least 146 individual lawsuits that has been consolidated into a federal multi-district litigation. Yeah, I'm not even surprised they all got combined, by the way. Yeah, it'll definitely hit 150 lawsuits at one point if it hasn't already done so. Already had a few servers make announcements about the update. It's looking bleak. Yeah, there's a couple of games that are probably canceling their updates outright now because of how it's going to affect them. Roblox said in words, we didn't have any choice but to use Persona. I guess, like, there's like quite a few options, I'm sure. Like, there's even KID, which I wouldn't trust them either. And then Persona, I also wouldn't trust them. Like, KID had a data breach a couple months ago, and Persona has been sued over how they handle, you know, delivery drivers' information some years ago. And not only that, but its front end got leaked a couple months ago, and it shows that it's tracking up to 269 different types of information. All to the government. To start probably making a biometric database. Like, this is just sick. And not in a good way, obviously. Like, who wants to be tracked by your government? You know. I also sent mail yesterday to Roblox headquarters again, since they didn't respond to my letter. I wonder how it would go if I, you know, decided one day, you know what, Roblox has been ignoring all my demands on Twitter and ignore all the moderation on Roblox support. Let me just make a letter or whatever. Who knows if they're gonna even respond. Right? It's like, I know Schlep sent letters to the headquarters a few times, at least, regarding stuff that's going on in their own platform, but Roblox had to pay a $12.5 million settlement to the state of Nevada. Oh yeah, let's see. Welcome, and yeah, I just saw that yesterday, and how there was going to be a lawsuit against Roblox in Nevada, but Roblox basically settled, you know, of $12.5 million, which is just, it's something, I guess. It's like, whatever keeps them afloat at this point. Like, I don't know. Like, for the last couple days, I've been playing Minecraft with a friend of mine, at least. Alright, let me see if there's any other questions. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to go down a bit more because I'm at the 28 minutes ago mark, and I'm sure there's a lot more stuff that, you know, has to be answered. Like, imagine just saying, yeah, we're going to use Persona because reliability. Reliable on what? Making a whole government database, maybe. Security. That seems to be a false promise in one aspect or another. Solus Corp might abandon ACG. I don't even know what that is. Give me part of the 12 million. It's like, if I even got a part of the settlement, right? I'll probably use it for good measure. I hope Roblox doesn't release the Roblox Kids and Select update. They've been ignoring all the concerns, so... They've ignored concerns about the age verification update. They roll with it anyway. They ignored the update concerns regarding dynamic heads. They decided, screw it, we're releasing it anyway. UGC static heads. They're going forward with it anyway. Age verification for the dev form, same thing. Clothing update. They're still rolling with it despite delaying it. The only way to probably do this is protest outside the headquarters. And you want to know the craziest thing about that whole thing, by the way? No one has even done it yet. Like, excuse me, you mean to tell me that no one in 20 years of Roblox history has protested outside the headquarters regarding how hideous the updates are? Why do you consider Persona to meet your requirements for security and reliability? And they just shared an article. He probably won't get a response back because, again, it probably bashes their narrative. But good on scripting's master of pointing this whole thing out. In those files, researchers found details about the extensive surveillance Persona software performs on its users. Beyond checking their age, the software performs, get this, 269 distinct verification checks. And that's what I brought up earlier. Like, imagine scanning 269 different qualifications regarding this whole age verification bonanza. Solaris Corp is a group who made the Reactor Core game. I see. I wonder how much they're now about to pay out of the other lawsuits to go through. Yeah, that's a very good question. It's like they already paid off one state to not sue them, which is kind of interesting in whatever way that might be. Okay, what is his question here? Are there any plans to bring back unrated experiences for users that are verified as 18 plus? Our goal around raising to empower players to make informed decisions about content they engage with and all this other crap. We'll be turning to global content rating standards and all this other crap. It is important for all games to take... Again, it's important for all games, whether it's inactive or not, to take the maturity and compliance questionnaire. And they said, this whole compliance crap, they said it was gonna, essentially keep the classic games up, but no. It's just nuts. Okay, whose trade's question got answered? Regarding Roblox Kids and Select. Is there any future plans regarding visibility of avatar stuff? Currently, Roblox Kids and Select applies to games and not the marketplace. Today, content in the marketplace is for all ages, which, you know, they should take a good look at the marketplace. Because, for one, the fact that we got bad stuff on the catalog is still insane beyond recognition. Developers under 16 will be able to publish games to users 16 and up. And not even their own age group, by the way. Trusted friends and users. Blah, 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 blah. And this is probably flat here. RPG Waffles. Must be new to the whole team and crap. Publishing the Roblox, regardless of mechanism, will go for the same eligibility check and to reach under 16, blah, blah, blah. A massive and quickly growing audience on Roblox. You know what else is a growing audience? People leaving Roblox for who knows what else. But, you know, it's funny how some people just look at the stuff I post on Twitter and just immediately say, oh, you're spreading misinformation. Or oh, you just spread a message of hate. A message of what? Like, and all you do is just probably glaze Roblox all week, so I wouldn't give a crap about what you have to say. I don't know. The first set of publishing requirements led to a significant reduction in bad games. This is why, you know, the December requirements worked here. But we found that we needed to set an even higher bar to make this even more difficult for bad actors attempting to bypass these requirements. Well, yeah, this is a bunch of crap. Like, yeah, the December requirements work already. Let's make it even more restrictive. Like, these people are stupid. Swear to goodness, man. Stuck on stupid. And you mean to tell me that with the December requirements working as planned already, because, mind you, it works. And they're just like, yeah, let's just make it more restrictive. Are they thinking with their head or with their money? While ID verification helps us know who is reaching young users, a recurring Plus subscription indicates you're an active part of the community. Why do you have to pay money just to prove you're a part of the community? Do you know how stupid and greedy you sound with this crap? Like, take a look at this crap and tell me that this is anything about, oh, it's about loyalty. Like, there's other ways to prove you're an active member of the website. Like, I don't know, showing that you're actually active. Oh yeah, the last online date might have actually been gone because, well, privacy for who knows what reason. And it's a significant financial cost for bad actors. Well, that's a bunch of moolah. For example, a bad actor attempting to overwhelm moderation system with a large number of accounts, oftentimes hundreds, we need to pay hundreds or thousands of dollars a month. Okay, sure. That's cool. But that's going to be at the expense of small developers. And the more that they realize it,
Well, maybe they already realized it and just don't give a crap.
As we mentioned, 99% of creators who have games will be available to Roblox Select and Kids accounts. Earn more than the Plus subscription cost in Robux. Like, what? A significant financial cost for bad actors. You mean the bad actors who possibly make hundreds off your platform? Well, yeah, exactly. Heck, all they gotta do is just buy your Roblox card and just... They have jobs that they're probably willing to go 10 toes down, spend all their income on making condos and crap. They need to have better, you know, incentives, per se, to prevent them. Like, not just, like, financially, no. It's just bonkers. It's like the only thing I agree out of this whole ordeal is two-factor authentication and moderation history. Those are the two things I already agree with. The rest can just eat grass. They already use gift cards to stay in on. Exactly. And that's what Roblox needs to realize. People are usually buying their stuff through gift cards. Which, the only way to track who purchased the gift cards is if you go down to the store themselves. Or, you know, with the receipts. Or at least I would think that. But, you know, that's just me, though. I have been to the store enough times. And I've gotten Roblox cards before last year. And I say before last year because, you know, premium payouts sounded nice at the time and all this other stuff. And I also have been gifted, you know, Roblox cards previously for Christmas and stuff. But oh, creators who are not yet ready to subscribe to Plus or ID Verify will still be able to access the tens of millions of 18 plus users. Are you sure about that? And are they gonna force people who are not ID verified like me? I'm not ID verified, or heck, I'm not even age checked. Could the transaction history be checked? That could definitely be doable, I think, depending on the bank preferred. Like, you know, I believe with, like, credit cards and stuff, the transactions can be tracked, per se. The US 18 to 34 audience on Roblox is our fastest growing segment, over 50% year over year, and they monetize at a rate 40% higher than young users. I wonder why. It's because the adults have all the money and the kids do not. It's that simple. For creators without a credit card, we are exploring ways to pay for Plus via Robux. Heck, there wasn't even an option to pay for Builders Club with Robux, or even Premium. That's like the only good thing I have read in this entire sentence. The entire good thing is, like, we're exploring a way to pay for Plus via Robux, which, isn't that also, ironically, easy for people to just, you know, get another requirement? And, like, you might as well just remove the Plus requirement anyway, if it's gonna be easier to get Plus. You might as well. Alright. Interesting. Am I missing something here? And it just shows that February Persona left its front end code. It wasn't even leaked. It was just left out in the open, which was found out about. And that they're going to track up to 269 distinct different things to look for. Like, literally conducting 269 age checks. Like, different types. Like, what? Remember, if you're greedy, you're on your path of having your reputation being destroyed. Like, and then there's still going to be people out there who find a way to defend this update. Especially with the whole plus requirements. Like, oh, it's just $5 a month. A month. It's like, oh, you can't afford $5 a month? It's not even about affording $5 a month. Maybe people don't want to pay just to have their games not even do good. Like, the cons are starting to outweigh the pros here. It's like, you know, my thinking of making games on Roblox up to this point is that you could just start from the bottom, from the ground, and build your way up through, you know, advertising. And that could be for social media or their advertisement system, which I haven't used Roblox's new one. But if Persona meets Roblox's security and reliability requirements, then those requirements must be quite loose, to say the least. Unless, of course, you have something to add regarding this. Otherwise, I and many others will have no choice but to assume Roblox as a company finds putting their developers' safety and security at risk to be an acceptable business practice. Saying nothing works too, since silence about this speaks volumes. Ravenwolf TFS is spitting fire right now. And he should continue. Okay? Like, let's be honest. Are there currently any plans on allowing verified or DevX creators to skip any of the publishing requirements? Now, if they actually went through this, people are going to try to go berserk with their Robux and cash out immediately. So, I don't know. After May 19th, what will happen with already published games? Can we still update them? And if not, then they'll stay public or go private? This question needs to be answered ASAP, right here. It's like, for the games that have already been published before the update dropped, will it stay public or will it be forced off the face of the earth? That is probably one of the most important questions regarding this already top 5 worst update. What about games that their sole purpose is just a temporary hub? I know a group has a separate game to train players in before sending them to the main game. Using the evaluation process will render any game unusable, as those who likely play it aren't even authorized to play in the first place. 99% of creators. But yeah, where did they get 99% from, by the way? This right here. What is this based off of? Most Roblox games have 0 monthly players, so there's no way they're earning that much. Just say Roblox is straight up lying about statistics at this point, just to fit their narrative. Because there is no way that most creators, most people on Roblox, are making buku crazy money on games when most of them don't even have people playing in them. Oh. We do not store raw ID images. Can you explain why the security audit says otherwise and is regarding Persona? The source code faceless retention capped at 3 years. Government IDs retained so-called permanently through personalist practices. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, do not verify your ID. Especially not through Persona. Okay? They are literally lying on how their third party stores all this crap. Like, okay, Roblox may not store it, but Persona sure as hell will. Let's just say that. On April 30th, Roblox Plus will be launched as a monthly subscription, and I could probably give the crap less at this point. Why doesn't Roblox consider adding an option for users to verify via account history? Well, that's going to be an interesting one. Similar to YouTube, users could unlock features such as publishing by simply retaining history over a long time that indicates they are human without the need for ID verification. Hold on, this dude has my attention already. This will make publishing and other ID verification locked features accessible to a large amount of people while maintaining the same amount of safety and still requiring the user to maintain activity. This dude has an idea, folks. And a decent one at that. Because if YouTube has a channel history indicator, what about Roblox having an account history? And then someone added on as well, a bit of a bonus question, but will Roblox Premium subscribers also be able to publish all ages games, or is it exclusive to Roblox Plus? If I were to answer that question, it might be for the... I don't know. I don't know, actually. They didn't mention Premium very much. Oh boy, here's Matt Kaufman again. And that's in response to this person who has said... Let me see, what do they say? It's loading. Why is the minimum age for everything now 16 plus instead of 13 plus? This update will be more tolerable. The internet is evolving. So is the consensus around digital safety for kids and teens. There's a growing reception among child development experts and policymakers, politicians, that 16 years old that is a more appropriate cutoff than 13 for certain types of content and social behaviors. I guess, bro. We were about to ask a question, but they already closed it. Hold on. What did this person just say here? Hold on. I agree. That's why you shouldn't encourage kids to send videos of themselves or share their government ID to a company just because they delete it right away. What's being done to stop kids from sharing their information like this? This guy has a point. And, when I was a kid, they told you not to share your personal information on the internet. And I hope to goodness that's still being taught in schools, by the way. Because if it's not, then that's a bit hypocritical. Because the only reason why they would stop teaching that is because they want to have them give biometric data for what? Precisely. Alright. Can you elaborate more on how the game evaluation process will work? That game will need to reach 500 unique plays. 500 different people. But age-checked, highly engaged users. Well, that's very specific. And older in the last 30 days. Yeah, good luck with that. We use a variety of signals to give us confidence that the play session is genuine, not from a bot or fake account, including session duration, account age, alt detection, engagement distribution, if the users have recently made a purchase somewhere on Roblox. In my opinion, Roblox should allow developers to apply the Roblox Select and Kids separately, with requirements for Select being lower than Kids. And the payment, the payment requirement is just a greedy crap fest. Like, Just imagine the sheer amount of crap Kaufman's having to pull up a counter argument against these truth bombs. Yeah, exactly. We chose a 500 benchmark as engaging games on Roblox will be able to reach this number quickly. With millions of users in the 16 plus range on Roblox. How sure are we that people are going to necessarily play these smaller games, you know? It's like, if they have, like, over 500, you know, daily active users, that is one thing. Or maybe even 100 daily active users. But again, who knows if it proves much of anything. You can now track how many of these player sessions your game has received in your game dashboard, and just select the eligibility tab on the Creator Hub. You may have seen this page adjusting it to show the benchmark is 500 plays from these users, so you have a point of reference. Alright, so why can't you do that without the subscription? Just allow all positively verified games to be played by all users. Easy. Exactly. Like, you don't even have to need to use a subscription. Like, the December requirements are, you know, relatively good enough. Add two-factor authentication and the moderation standing, and maybe even alt detection. Just maybe. And if you really want to go down the road of age verification, whatever, but again, that's another privacy risk and a half. Yeah, I wonder why this question has not been answered. Right here. What does the subscription give developers that they did not have before? And will Roblox approach it as a reciprocal commitment, or is it one more adjustment that developers are expected to absorb? I wonder why that question hasn't been answered. But the next one, again, has. I'm probably like so behind on my entire thing, but what's the reason behind restricted access to minor games to age-verified users? Many of the 30-plus audience is privacy conscious and does not like the idea of sending their face to persona. This policy has instilled worry that in the near future, Roblox will require age verification to access the platform at all. And just don't expect me to come back at that point if they do pull this. I believe this is so that non-age checked children under 9 don't play games that they would lose access to in their age group if they were the complete facial age transformation be in the correct age group. What? Since most accounts are usually newly created or highly inactive, would it be possible to reduce the prices of Roblox Plus for users who have, for example, 18 hours a week along with AFK checks? While the $4.99 may seem little to you, this can be quite a lot for developers who don't have much and their game is currently not getting any momentum. And as well, it could like basically offset any profit you may have. Okay, let's see what did this person ask. Regarding the 6-month free plus subscription for creators, why is it only available for group leaders and direct game holders and not for people who are with publishing rights to the game? For group-owned games only, the group owner is required to have an active plus membership to be eligible for all ages publishing. Oh my god. You're doubling down on this whole subscription for all ages bonanza. Which is, you know, you can argue it's the worst part. Like, this and the
privacy risk of age verification and ID verification. Those three are the reason why this update is being dragged through the entire mud and back. Everything else, whatever. But those three is why there's a hot button description anyway. Meets requirements of company with multiple data breaches and some even connected to Roblox. Playing devil's advocate here. These age requirements are still new. There aren't many companies out there right now. Roblox has basically had to pick their poison here until more companies spring up with this. Okay. But have they also done their research about, I don't know, Persona and any other biometric companies? I wouldn't know. Alright, so why can't you... Okay, I've read that reply already. Let's see if there's any response just from another person. And they won't get an answer back regarding why the subscription is even needed. Remarkable. Just remarkable. I wonder why non-verified users are forced into Roblox Kids if the entire point of age verification is to separate kids from adults. Like, who knows? Like, I wonder how many people that are not age verified are children by chance. The COPPA law does require platforms to consider all users as underage. Well, dang. If you're... Okay, this is a bug thing. Please reach out to our support team, which... By the way, the Roblox support team has been one of the most questionable ones on the internet, at best. Because sometimes you get something out of it, but most times they'll just say, yeah, we can barely do anything about it. Roblox support is not always the best about keeping on track with the current Roblox features. If I have problems with Roblox support, how do I escalate my support ticket in case they do not do anything about it? That too is what I want to know, because I've reported someone to Roblox support recently, twice within a month. They basically haven't done crap about it. So that is also something I want to know. Can you elaborate further on how you would go about categorizing avatar items for different audience groups? Will you be improving discovery algorithm to work better for each age grouping so that owners who decide to only publish for 16+ audiences will have a better chance of being seen by 16+ rather than game being hidden among a much larger and possibly less relevant number of games? With this plus being purchasable using Robux, would that mean that we could get the option to pay for stuff like plugins and paid models? Yeah, I'm not gonna go there. Like, there's already... Wait. Does it mean paying plugins and models for Robux? That would definitely be a viable alternative rather than just using currency and whatever. Will there be any consideration for creators with Grandfather Lifetime Premium from Grandfather Lifetime Builders Club and allowing them to continue publish games for all ages? And that's a very good question, because there are quite a few people out there that has gotten Lifetime Builders Club like a decade ago. And, you know, the follow-up question with Boldo 344, I wonder why it has not been answered. I genuinely wonder why. How are you accounting for the disconnect that be between kid, teen, and adult players on Roblox and preferring
and engaging with different types of games. Since the evaluation is based on engagement, that will be only towards 16 plus users. Wouldn't this mean you have to market a game meant for 13 and under towards 16 plus who won't be interested in it? Which is just mind-boggling. Again, this here, no answer for mods. I don't expect the staff to reply, but I do think the option to purchase Roblox Plus, excuse me here, with Robux does make a little more tolerable. Doesn't paying to publish games go against powering imagination slogan? Again, no answer, because they probably don't even have an answer. And if they do have an answer, it goes against, again, the narrative. You mentioned two-step verification, Nick. Well, Roblox allows users to sign without a password and with a passkey instead. This is effectively two-step verification in one large step, and is much safer than other alternatives. Is all these slop, poor effort games going to take over the discovery page for users under 16, since most developers who actually put effort into the game doesn't or can't verify their ID? Again, no answer, because he doesn't even have an answer to that, it looks like. I wonder why. New evaluation process relies on engagement from 16 plus users. Are there measures in place to ensure games built for younger audiences are not in a disadvantage during the process? Again, no answer. Pico's vid. In regards to subscribing to Roblox Plus to make games available for all ages, does that imply that users with lifetime premium have to subscribe to Plus, or will the Plus benefits be lifetime, just like lifetime premium? They better have a grandfather clause for Roblox Plus, by the way. They might as well. Because they're literally giving Roblox their unwavering financial incentives, essentially, to them on a monthly basis. For 100 years, essentially. That's it. King David Brand Bazooka. I had enough, and in case you're wondering. Oh. Nothing is good with this update. Is this even AMA if they're just avoiding the real questions people want to know? At this point, they're just selecting what questions to answer. And, they should answer all of the questions. Like, if they want to be respected. But clearly, they haven't responded to all of the questions. Like, these 4 questions, back to back to back to back. No answer. Absolutely no answer. And this is why I'm doing the stream, right? It's like, even though I didn't announce it on Twitter, I did announce it on my Discord server, which is in the description. And you'll get a note of when I will stream, even before I post about it on YouTube, or Twitter even. Some people experiencing issues linking their VNG Roblox account to a different location. Again, no response there. I agree, that's why you shouldn't encourage... Okay, I did see that already. That is quite funny that someone responded like that, because, honestly, it's just remarkable how Roblox continues, and I mean continues, to backstab its community month in and month out. But I'm not even done reading for all this, by the way. I know I answered this question before, not trying to spam my question, but so this will be the last time I answer. But when we are all taking ages here, doesn't mean Maya, which is 9 plus, and Maya being 13 plus, doesn't mean that they are bundled in with all ages category. I mean, you would still need to require the new upcoming Plus subscription to publish your games onto those ratings, or is it a different story? No answer. In regions where Premium and therefore Plus is not available, will the subscription requirement remain? For example, in the Russia region, you can't buy anything, but this requirement remains for right now. Excuse me, my post with pings was deleted. Sorry, but how am I supposed to reach you if you're ignoring my question? Yeah, totally civil discussion here. From the moderation team, by the way. Totally. And he probably pinged them just to, again, get their attention. Like, increase attention. And then, apparently, they deleted the post. Which is just remarkable, honestly. But yeah, if you guys are just joining the stream, welcome. I'm just reading off the so-called AMA questions and answers. Does that mean that no longer maintained games may no longer be available on selecting kids at any time, even if they were shown to be safe for these audiences? Like, I don't know, inactive and, you know, deceased developers? That's a very valid question. And that's also ignored. Just, yeah, who knows how this is going to go. Adding on to this, will you offer some kind of incentive to 6 and plus users to help scan and verify newly published games so they can be offered to all ages? Such as Roblox rewards are similar. I don't know. Is stream going to end? Like, honestly, at this point, I just have to continue reading through these questions and stuff. A genuine question that will finally be answered. Hopefully it won't get just deleted. Why did Roblox never hire a competent moderation team? It's like, even if you use AI, you gotta have a team look over the AI. At least I would think. But again, Roblox is going the cheap way out, to the surprise of almost no one. But that could have prevented everything from happening, including AI's age checks. Like, Roblox had a safety problem for a better of a decade. And they've started addressing it when Schlep got banned. Which is just mind-boggling, really. Like, if that's not a form of damage control, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what is. And whatever this mess of an update is, having our chat taken, more accounts being... Yep, here we go. More accounts on the black market than ever. Especially those with, you know, age checks, and people are still gonna get... It's like, you know, Roblox probably has a system to prevent this whole thing from being finalized. Like, you know, if it's a different IP address or whatever had hacked, but what are the odds of it actually being enforced? Hey, hi, hello, being inappropriate for quick chat systems. Yeah, you can't even say hi, hello, or hey regarding quick chat, aka safe chat. And then persona leaking the front end. Again, no one answered. What does it mean to maintain engagement? Do we need to retain 500 unique players a month? So, if we were to do an average on that right now, right? About 500 a month. If I'm not mistaken, that is about 6,000 a year. If I go by days, that would be about roughly 17 to 20 unique players a day, consistently. Which, okay, that's not much, but I haven't hit 20 daily active users in months. And that was my highest in recent months, mind you. The Philippines didn't ban Roblox. And they are most likely the cause for this update. And the irony is that the Philippines has found out the age verification update that Roblox had, like the whole age verification system in general, was bypassed. And now they're giving Roblox another 3 months, which is to July basically, to have actual working moderation systems. Which is quite funny that even the Philippines has found out that Roblox's age verification thing was bypassed. It's like it doesn't take a rocket scientist to find this out. The Q2 investor meeting. Yeah. Who knows where the Q1 numbers are. Must have not looked so great if they're gonna keep pushing greedy updates, and updates are gonna kill everything off. Is it likely that Roblox gets unbanned specific reasons, such as Middle Eastern countries, when these changes go into effect? Maybe. Also, maybe not. My question is about developer revenue. You provide a few metrics. 99% of creators who have games will be able to blah, 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 blah. Like, if they were faking stats, they couldn't really give another number. Like, 99%, like almost everyone who made games will be available to select, and kids earn more than the subscription cost. How do we guarantee that, you know? These are reassuring. However, with Robux being more expensive, no more 10% bonus, no more stipend, it seems like players will actually have less Robux in their accounts overall. There are concerns that this would counterbalance the 10 to 20% discount in its effects on the developer revenue. Do you have any metrics to provide or reassurances on how Roblox Plus will affect revenue in this way? Again, a good question that has not been answered. And who did this guy reply to? Master Minion. If a developer with Plus publishes their game and it gets shown to kids in select while the later developer cancels their subscription, would the game be taken off? Or would they only lose the ability to publish? Your game will remain published and available to all ages, even if your subscription runs out. You will only need to resubscribe if you need to update your game or publish a new game to users of all ages. Well, that's a bit reassuring, but how do we find out if they're telling the truth about that? Because we've seen Roblox say one thing and do another. Like with the classic faces. They said they were going to keep them a couple years ago, and now they just outright removed them last month. So, and that's just one way to anger the community. That's literally against one of Roblox's core values that they say they follow. It's like, what is the community Roblox is talking about here? What if the human moderators had a scheduled time? Like, when they're working? That is a, you know, an interesting question. Like, it's 12 p.m. to 9 a.m. And I assume that is Pacific or Eastern time regarding those time frames. Like, in order to have the moderation system work 24/7, I think there will probably have to be people from different time zones working. Or whatever. Will Roblox really require all users to ID verify or age check before using the platform? If so, how are you going to help creators with the loss of income due to people refusing to verify and leaving the platform? Users who haven't completed age check can still use the platform. They'll be limited to games rated minimal or mild, which who knows how many games are just atrocious with that. All communication will be unavailable. We already knew that. After completing age check, users will be automatically moved into more appropriate age-based account. Since January, Roblox has required... Yeah. And then they say over half of global and 65% of daily active users in the United States, almost 2/3 in the U.S., completed an age check. And there's a follow-up maybe, or two. At least there's replies. If it can load, that would be great. Nevada's Attorney General stated in a settlement that all users would need to complete an age check on Roblox. To be clear, that is a misunderstanding and it not happening. And if you guys didn't know about this, Roblox has reached a settlement with Nevada, I guess, to prevent a lawsuit for about $12.5 million earlier this week. And now Nevada would have been the 11th state to take action against Roblox legally, but essentially it became a settlement more than anything. What about the deal with Nevada? Will age checks become nationwide? How will this affect developers who sell items on the platform if half of the community quits to the age verification check requirements? And, when people say they quit Roblox, hopefully they mean it, by the way, because while I didn't specifically say I'm straight up quitting yet, because of different reasons like working on games, all this other stuff, that I still have to finish before May, by the way. There can be people that are hypocrites, and I don't like hypocrites, quite frankly. Roblox stocks will drop again someday. Maybe tomorrow. Like, it didn't drop the last few days because of the safety update. That's more greedy than anything else, quite frankly. A lot of games hype up big release, and that's where a majority of revenue comes from. How will that look with the new testing period? Will there be any exceptions for testing? And there's no answer to that either. But there's some more, questions that's been answered. How do these new publishing requirements affect teams that publish via Open Cloud? And it says Open Cloud API keys act on behalf of the user who authorized it. Sure. So is the user initiate the publishing process. For select eligibility, only the game's owner will need to meet all the requirements. For publishing, each creator will need to be age checked and have two-factor authentication. Again, two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication. Cool. Account standing. Also cool. The rest, not great. Matt Kaufman actually answered a question about privacy concerns regarding age and ID verification. Color me shocked. But here's, as age/identity verification measures are rapidly being applied across the internet, many platforms that have used these measures have suffered from catastrophic data breaches, which is why I don't scan my face or ID anyway. These data breaches are 100% out of the user's control, and no amount of security measures they take on their end can prevent them. Two of the biggest examples were Discord, with whatever thing they use, and the T-app, which is, some kind of, I don't know if, let's see, I heard it was some kind of dating app or whatever the heck, but again, I never used it, and I don't really care to use that kind of thing. In the case of Discord, an external customer support provider that also provided the identity verification was used, similar to Roblox's partnership with Persona. This provider was compromised and over 70,000 uploaded government IDs for age-related support were stolen. Hackers were going to extort Discord with threats to release info, and Discord attempted to roll out age checks worldwide earlier, which Dave Bazuki made a sly remark as a reply, saying that they've started the whole age verification bonanza or whatever the heck, which... that's not a flex, dude. In contrast to Discord, Roblox rarely rolls back or makes concessions with highly unpopular decisions, including the rollout of age checks to chat this year. Predating Discord's breach, an app known as T, an app designed for women which performed identity verification, was breached after storing information in an unsecured manner. Another example, folks. Government IDs, verification selfies, rather, and more information was leaked. Some images containing metadata, and the data was abused, and that and all that other stuff. All this was despite the app's promise that all verification would be deleted. Discord said, "Oh, we're gonna delete it." It's thousands of instances hacked, gone. T-App, same thing. And Roblox is also following the same road. Digital privacy advocates warn of these breaches becoming more common as age and identity verification measures are rapidly gaining increased use. The dangers of having your government ID and face leaked online and tied to your internet accounts are too much to count, especially in the age of AI. After all, no security measures are perfect, and this is without mentioning personas tied to the U.S. government or their own reported security issues. As such, many refuse to do identity checks on Roblox regardless of how much you may promise them and the amount of assurances you offer. I am one of them. Regardless of however they say, "Oh, it's fine, we're going to delete it after." No. We've seen this play out before, and it more often than not leads to thousands of information, IDs, selfies, out there for who knows what to see. I refuse. It's like granted, I did test the age verification on like 2 accounts in January, just for it to be widely inaccurate. But I'm not doing more. What would your response be to these users, especially more the platform becomes locked to these checks? Would Roblox ever consider alternative measures, especially in the event of a catastrophic data breach? I'm surprised this was even answered. And then he just says, "We work hard to balance privacy and safety. While self-declared age may be the most privacy-preserving option, it is also categorically less trustworthy than other options," and all this other crap. And they go on to say how age verification and ID verification both provide higher confidence to better protect users. At the same time, both age and ID verification is designed to minimize data retention. Okay. For example, selfie images are immediately deleted after processing, and biometric data is deleted after 30 days. So that's where the 30 days and the immediately thing just come from, because I've seen immediately, then I've seen 30 days, and I was like, okay, wait a minute. They're not contradicting their own words, are they? But what are the odds? Quite frankly. Even Minecraft doesn't even have this much lawsuits. Yeah, man. Even though, yeah, there might be predators on Minecraft or Fortnite, Roblox has continuously time and time again, fail to immediately act. What state of the U.S. and our country will sue Roblox next? I know that there has been a petition for the state of Michigan to sue Roblox or investigate it. Just do something about Roblox. There has been a petition about that. And just let me know if you want the link to the petition, because I will drop it if you guys want me to. Interesting that you chose not even hint at the data breach here. I guess it's like he hasn't answered that aspect of the whole thing. Like, what are they doing to prevent data breaches? Other than saying that they delete this either immediately or 30 days, depending on what data they're talking about. Is there a plan or way to users that don't verify with government ID to be eligible to access all ranges of age users and career rewards? Maybe age estimation is enough. Like even though I don't like facial age estimation or ID verification not only just has your face, it has your address, basically where you live, and that is beyond. This is not just like risking privacy. Yeah, that's just essentially throwing all your information out there to the wind and hope it doesn't land to someone nefarious. Okay? Which is why, if I had to decide between the two, which, don't get me wrong, I don't plan to use my ID or my face, but if I had to choose, it's the facial age estimation. Like, okay, you have my face, whatever, but I'm still not gonna give it. It's still a privacy risk, don't get me wrong, but you know. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna get some more water for myself. Alright, I'm back. Okay, I don't know why it just skipped like that, but now. Publishing rules. But I don't like the design of F. I know a few users that complained about this with the Roblox program were able to appeal for support violation appeals. But I know if you couldn't do that or ran out of their attempts and ordered 30 days for permanent bans. At certain times, these user messages ask me, "Hi, you know much about Roblox. Do you know what it can do?" No, I don't know. Sometimes it's also disgusting. What can these affected users actually do? And there's no answer for that one.
or the next one. Is there any plans for large audience or communications via to have age-gated chat relax? Attorney. Yeah, there's only someone else responded. If a Roblox Plus subscription expires and the owner wants to publish an update, does that mean that access for 50 under will be revoked, meaning any progress saved purchases will be void till the owner repurchases? If I were to personally guess, maybe. It's like they hinted at that in another reply to somebody. Yeah. This here. It's like if you're still able to publish and update games. So the fact that your game, by the way, will still be available if your subscription runs out, that seems better than what we thought. Like, I thought every game that did belong to a premium or plus subscription is gonna basically say, yeah, you're gone. Nope. But it only applies to updating, which is not the greatest still, because clearly, like, why do you need a subscription just to even update a game? Like, I don't know if it makes much sense. Roblox 100% tracks what you do on your phone after the face scan. I won't be surprised if they actually do that. Because they have hinted at using signals in their interview with the New York Times back in November last year. How can we ensure a game is verified before this update goes live? We have large player bases, 16 don't want to lose time. You'll be able to see a status icon listing if your game is eligible for kids and select. You can look at the new tab, see how close you are to eligibility threshold. If a creator or developer inadvertently updates or publishes them, doesn't mean automatically disabled or available to under 16. Is it possible to revert and restore availability to all ages, or is it compulsory to repurchase the Plus subscription? No answer there. But if I were to guess, you probably have to get it again. Because I don't know. Is it going to be required to have a Roblox subscription in order to publish or push updates or bug fixes to live games? If that's the case, developers will be required to always have the subscription as long as they're supporting the game they publish, even possibly years after the games have went live, which this is bonkers, truly. They just said that premium is susceptible to publish games for all ages. Is there a reply that points that out in the dev forum? Have you noticed the countries banned Roblox or smaller countries are not recognized, basically? Middle Eastern, the only recognizable countries that ban Roblox: Russia, China, and Turkey. Speaking of Turkey, that they're highlighting at having access restored there with Roblox. but it doesn't necessarily say when inherently. This feels incredibly unfair, unjustified. Please reconsider this measure. I categorically cannot understand justification for requiring a subscription to update a game that you already published. And you know, it's really crazy. Is it possible to do a one-time payment? No answer. They're either... Okay, let's see who did this. Okay. Draxlider 1. How will publishing requirements be enforced for existing experiences or games, especially those that have been abandoned for years? Which is another great question, because the person who made it's not there to update it. All existing games, including legacy and abandoned games, will need to have high enough confidence engagement with the evaluation process. Okay. That's very helpful. Totally. Thank you, Matthew Kaufman. Good lord. I have a question regarding the evaluation process. Are there any plans to add a secondary evaluation process for smaller games, such as human reviewer playtime from those under 16? Thank you for the question. We understand that not every game is designed for mass market growth, and that niche content is important to our user community. Remember when Disney... Yeah, Disney did actually cancel collaboration in December of last year, like before Christmas. Which is quite the ordeal, really. Like Disney doesn't have the brightest track record either, by the way. Just to throw that out there. Like the fact that even Disney, which doesn't have the greatest track record, is saying, yeah, Roblox has a problem, is quite remarkable. While the current user review process relies on signals, is that signal word again, from the 16 community to establish suitability, we will continue to iterate and to ensure all high quality games have a path to success. Okay, both experiences and games have been used in this entire thing. And game remains fully available to tens of millions of users in our 16 and older audience. Some of these users will include parents who play Roblox with their children who are confident this process will give every experience an opportunity to flourish. If you want to share details on your game specifically, feel free to DM. Okay. Let's see, did I read this already? As a developer on this platform, it's quite worthy. Because if you force age checks ID verification on people, my audience and income will face losses. And then he says the same thing with after completing, users will automatically move into the appropriate age-based account. Okay. I mean, that's basically the same answer as earlier. And now we're probably just seeing all of the answers from Roblox staff members at this point. Following the late 2025 changes to playability, as promised has been on in the past few months, games slowly been rated and access has been restored. This policy implies that places owned by creators who don't meet requirements will be made 18 plus. Will this apply to places made by inactive users that have been mainly rated by staff?
Preserving legacy games is so important to us, yet they have basically straight up closed tens of thousands of games that essentially are just that haven't been updated in literally years. Like, do they not see themselves right now? Do they not see where they're coming from? Because I probably do see where there might be a bit of, I don't know, some kind of lie going on. Because they said they were going to take a look at all of the places regarding those that haven't been published in years, like classic games, and then they just straight up took it down. At least, not like outright down, but they closed it, essentially. Well, games made by creators who are not willing to or unable to ID verify or purchase Roblox Plus be available to any users at all? Or will they be taken down and rendered inaccessible forever? It seems extremely unfair for established classic games to no longer be playable due to their creators quitting or not having the means to pay or verify. And I'm not sure if that completely answered the question. It's like he just keeps saying that you can still publish for personal use, which, okay, that totally answers this here. Totally. Like, I don't think that answers the question. Yeah, the more I read this, the more I realize the question hasn't even been properly answered. Literally not even properly answered. Kind of what you guys think in the live chat about Math Coughing not properly answering questions here. Because I just read everything, and the question specifically was, what would happen to games that either don't verify or get plus, or can't because they're not on the platform anymore? Like, will it get straight up taken down, or will it still persist? I haven't seen literally any specific answer here. Like, what are we doing? Genuinely. I've been listening to this while doing graphic stuff. I'm going to be honest, Matt sounds like he's in an echo chamber, especially with his responses saying the same old thing, like, yeah, you have to age verify to do this or do that. Like, does that answer the question that they're asking? Not entirely. So I would highly recommend for him to get a
get a clue of how he's answering the question. Like having a concise answer would be very great, actually. And this is referred to our answer here, and it's just probably the... yes, it's this here. Again, I have no clue how this here answers the question whether or not premium, like, will premium transfer over to plus, or do you have to manually do that yourself? Like with Nick Tornell's answer here, saying that if your subscription runs out, your game will remain up, but you have to basically get it again just to publish once more. So that's just a funny thing to say, but what do I know? It seems like with Nick's answers that the games will be up as long as it could, as long as it has a age rating and all this other stuff. And if you gotta update, you gotta get the subscription, which I don't know. I refuse to pay Roblox while they're absolutely, crapping the bed, so to speak. While publishing to a game that's already eligible, restart the screening process. This Flag guy, RPG Waffles, at least he's answering the questions directly, saying no, the screen process will not restart. However, every game will need to maintain enough highly engaged users to remain on, again, kids and select. And provided a real-time select eligibility dashboard that tracks and displays to highly engaged users, benchmarks, and status. Like, just answer directly, and there wouldn't be any speculation or questions. Or at least not much of speculation. Refer to our answer here. We're running out of bowl to spout, so they're going back to old answers. Exactly. As for what's going to happen to old games, I would assume Roblox will shadow ban games that haven't met requirements but disguise it as improving game visibility. Which is just kind of disingenuous. Saying, yeah, your game is up, but it's shadow banned. Like, yeah, thanks for just absolutely killing in any all potential of me coming back. Thank you very much. Wonderful to hear that you're considering purchase plus via Robux. That aside, we'd like to ask, how would you consider Roblox in terms of access to free creation at this point? Since Plus is now a requirement to access the majority of the user base for developers to publish a game to those under 16, they must pay for Plus and give their private information. Will it's truly be an improvement over previous requirements, which already added a lot of friction to the publishing process, which, I have to give Nick Tornow the credit for answering this question. Players who aren't ready to subscribe can still create for free, and after complete an age check, they have access to
they say a massive audience of tens of millions of users, which is 16 and up, which, again, that's half the platform, sure, but I don't know. And then they just... And, yeah, they're also saying the same... As soon as I start crediting him for answering the question thoroughly, they go back to the same old points. Saying 99% of creators who make games will be available to select in kids. Earn more Robux than the subscription costs. Like, how do you get that number? Where do you get that from? I'm just trying to get my research in, if anything, because I can't just blindly believe the company. Like, that would be bootlicking, for example, but... Okay, Mark Fing has said, can you elaborate further on how you would go about categorizing avatar items? Refer to our answer here. And yeah, now just Vlad is just going and saying the same crap, like, answer, please refer to our answer here. Like, you just can't say it in a, you know, quite remarkable, really. And to go back to that thing, like, maybe they're asking the same questions, but I don't know. There's probably got to be a better way to say, you know. Okay, I got like 35 posts to go. Cheese and rice. Will chat face be open to all over 16? No more annoying dots. We hear on the dots we're moving away from them. For in-game text, once you check, you'll be able to chat. Yeah. They're just saying the same stuff over and over again. Wait, what? Fellow conversations across age groups, including global chat for cross-server communication. Don't get me wrong, the cross-server communication is okay. But, again, Rend HY has Roblox considered adding alternatives like credit card for age verification, which that's also containing sensitive information, if I am not mistaken. Let's see. How's the stream doing? It looks like it's holding up considerably, which is good, because, you know, it's probably been... Let me see how long it's been, by the way. 2.5 hours. Alright. Thanks for... And then, again, with the whole... Thanks for your question, refer to our answer here. Which just makes... And it's probably, like, something they've posted earlier. The challenge for credit cards is that they can sometimes be useful as an 18+ proxy, but they are not strong or universal age signal on their own. Not every adult has a credit card, but some younger users may have to access one for their parent or family member, and card ownership standards vary by country. That makes it reliable as a global solution for age checks. Okay. And then something about avatar items. Again, is to refer to here. Do you see the clown in your tweet? Which one? Which one? I have quite a few of them in my replies throughout the months. And I usually ignore almost all of them, because there's no point in arguing. Okay. Why do you have to complete age checks just to visit games with a moderate? This feels super incredibly unnecessary and treat everyone as children by default. No one wants to verify their age just to play a game. 18 plus makes sense, but not 9 plus, because self-declared ages are often unreliable. And that's all his for his art. That's literally his entire argument. It's like, oh, self-declared age is unreliable, so we have to get your face and ID instead. Like, okay. Someone defending the update. Yeah, I'm not surprised there's people who are glazing the update. I'll have to see who you were replying to. Was it a quote post or was it directly in the replies? And then another question regarding why is the thing from 9 to 15 select? This name doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like it's going to confuse a lot of people. Choosing a name was a challenge because 9 to 15-year-old audience is in a unique transitional period. A 10-year-old isn't teen and a 14-year-old doesn't want to be called a kid. Okay. I guess, bro. How do these requirements interact with studio collaboration? Are we still able to invite our friends in similar age groups to collaborate where it would only make sense for them to play the game? Select eligibility will not impose new rules for studio collaboration and team create separate from what was recently announced. Outside the dev team, including all playtests, all selecting content maturity rules will apply. Okay. For kids who are still learning to make games or want to share their creation with online friends and communities but can't afford to pay $60 a year to continually keep their creations public. What do you have to say? I've been creating on the platform for 14 years. Starting when I was 10 years old and most of my childhood. I couldn't afford to pay bills, club at the time. It's a requirement in place back then. Myself and many other well-established dev will be discouraged and wouldn't even have started on developing. I'm glad I'm not the only one who joined in 2012 when I was, replying to Nimble's game. Alright, let me see, because which one of those repliers are we talking about here? But yeah, back to the post I was talking about. Yeah, it looks like this guy joined in 2012 as well, and he is probably 24 years old, just like I am. I also joined in 2012. It's been like a whole generation ago, it feels like, but yeah. Dude is a scripter. And I'm basically a builder. That's probably the difference in regarding the timeline and crap. Never question. But before I answer this question, I'm gonna check the chat again, see if... Oh! He said, oh, he... Yeah, that was a crazy comment. Like, even I'm like, okay, what is this guy talking about? Like, it's like, what could have led to the point where his game should not be remembered because he just was struggling, you know. There would have to be a reason why he ended his own life, you know. There had to be a reason. Like, people typically just don't do it necessarily for no reason. There's, like, underlying issues. Like, whether there's you know, a bunch of problems that are just piling on, snowballing, or whether it's mental or whatever that might be, it's incredibly, you know, it's incredibly sad when that happens. It's like, who knows, you know. At this point, I blocked him. But yeah, back to the question. Can we have an implementation of where we can see games, like please donate where you can see price amount that the users spent after regional pricing? And yes, we are working on a solution. And I'm not even sure if this is related to the whole post, but to be fair, this might also be a reply within a reply. No? This dude didn't post about the publishing requirements and or the separation update. He literally did it, but he got his answer anyway, but hey, as long as your questions you get answered, I don't really care. Again, for UGC, they said, yeah, refer to our answer here. It was mentioned in the newsroom post that age groups could vary for the new kids in select parts in particular regions. Would the ages vary based off of local jurisdiction? And would this affect any part of the publishing process for the creators' games? You know, good question, because different areas have different jurisdictions which have different laws. The specific age groups that have access to Roblox Kids and select accounts in different regions will vary based on local requirements. Well, that answers the question. This doesn't change anything on the publishing side. Well, that answers everything. While the new rules target new content, some players are concerned that existing top games will be made private, unplayable, or age restricted. Will there be a team working to keep many top games public, even the creator is not ID verified or doesn't play Roblox? Not play, but pay for Roblox Plus after 6 months. It might take days or weeks to read any of the questions. I don't know about that. I'm pretty close to the end of this forum here. And I should have not pasted, but pinned the link. Let me do that right now. So you can read at your own pace as well. And not only hear my voice, just reading. Publishing requirements will apply to all creators, including creators of top games, when Roblox Kids and Select roll out. However, once a game becomes eligible for publishing to under 16, the creator does not have to maintain age check status or even a Plus subscription for it to remain available. Publishing requirements only apply if the creator updates need to be published. Which is ironically why I probably need to finish all of my games before this update comes out. Then I could probably, theoretically, it's like, I don't know if it'll
even keep my game up. I don't know, though. Oh, to read any of the questions. Oh. Me and AMA. As a 9-year-old vet, I see the platform shift. You say 99% of creators earn more than the plus cost, but for many of us, this isn't about the money. It's about the principle of a free and open creative ecosystem that Eric Castle envisioned. Rest in peace, by the way. My question is, how can Roblox justify locking established creators behind a mandatory subscription and ID wall to reach core audience, effectively ending the era of independent hobbyists who built the platform? We understand why it feels significant for many long-term creators. This is not just about the cost of Plus, it's about what Roblox stands for in the create ecosystem we want to preserve. Like, if you want to have age checks, okay, I probably wouldn't do them, but, you know, it says for safety, okay. I'm not going to agree, but again. But $5 a month, $60 a year just to publish a game. I beg your pardon? Like, excuse me? What kind of stuff were you doing before the meeting? Okay, I have something to look at after I read all this AMA stuff, too. In the original announcement, this was mentioned. Under the guidelines, it says if they allow depictions of substances right under 16 plus, where Roblox allows games on tap to be accessible by 18 plus. Would Roblox follow PEGI guidelines and rate a game like 16 plus in the UK, or would continue to force it as 18 plus? MFE Comments just said a very short answer. Community standards will remain implied as an additional layer on top of the IARC ratings. Okay, we got 20-something questions now. Over the past 2 years, Roblox developed a history of turning unanimated games and uncopyrighted resources into lost media. The recent turn is part of the string of many, 15 by my count. How do you plan to win back the trust of those abandoning the platform or key parts of the platform, like me pausing support for Nexus VR character model, which holds up most of VR on Roblox? All existing games, including legacy games, are important to us, yet they took down basically half of the legacy games last October for the maturity rating enforcement, which I get the point where you have to age rate your game. But if the creator's inactive or even not alive anymore, there's got to be some leeway there. That's just me. I don't expect... Oh, he got his reply. Good for him. I don't expect... I do think the option to purchase Roblox Plus with Roblox makes it a little more tolerable. Doesn't paying to publish go against the Power Imagination slogan. We're investigating being able to pay for Plus with Robux in the months ahead, and we'll share more if this becomes an option. To help us keep transfer safe or secure, a parent or caregiver approval is required every time younger users send or receive Robux. The users must be age checked before they can send or receive without parental approval. Yeah, see? I knew something was a little interesting about that, by the way. So like I said, only if you could get, avoid the age checks, but yeah, guess what? You have to age check just to transfer Robux. And then it's just our job is to operate everywhere in the world and all this other stuff, how creativity and safety is our priority. And all this other fun stuff you can check out in the post again. Is there any expectations for how this update may impact experiences with set release dates?
My current understanding that this new update would make it so under 16 cannot generally play until enough 16 plus join for the evaluation process to complete, which could be a long time for smaller projects. Exactly. New games won't be immediately available to users of all ages until they complete the evaluation process. Assuming the creator has already completed age check, they'll immediately be users who are 16 over. Okay. Also, updated games will not be required to... Wait, what? Updated games. Like, probably not new games, but updated games will not, in italics, be required to complete the evaluation process again. So, once you've done it, you don't have to do it a second time. If the game that's available to all ages has been updated, the update will also be immediately available to users of all ages. The only time we'll start the evaluation process is if the game has been inactive over a long period of time. Wait a minute. Inactive over a long period of time, where then they'll make it 16 plus again. Take that for what you will regarding inactive games, by the way. You mentioned 18 plus audience is growing fast and monetized as well, but many experiences are designed for all ages. Is just target adults really your answer for creators who don't want to pay a subscription to reach the audience their game was built for? The reason for these requirements is to not push creators away from those audiences, to make sure that when creators reaching the youngest users on the platform, there's a higher bar for accountability, safety, and trust. By forcing them to pay $60 a year, I guess. But hey, go off, I guess. That does add friction, and we don't dismiss that. Now you don't, but you surely dismiss the friction of past concerns up to a certain point. This is about responsibility. It comes to access. Okay. If I forgot to immediately purchase Roblox Plus at the beginning of the month, will the algorithm kill my game because it was unavailable for a day? I propose that if you have Roblox Plus for 3 months, that stays up. And then this is... Please go to here. Which it probably says, yeah, it won't restart. Will supply to private servers. And he said, yeah, it will apply to basically all games that are live. That said, for these small games, if you complete an A-check, you'll still be able to play games that you publish for your friends. Trusted friends. And this is probably the question where they are just now posting on Twitter right around now. And I'm going to repost this onto my page. Alright, that's done. Said, yeah, lifetime premium will not be converted to a plus subscription. It will stay as premium, which, okay. Premium and plus are 2 different subscriptions, and the choice is all yours. And hold on. Let's look at the third line here. I'm happy to share that an active premium membership will count towards eligibility. So if you already have premium, that's technically already in the eligibility range. Which I haven't got that in basically a year. Because of, again, history of Roblox and crap. Premium will not be sold to new subscribers starting April 30th. If you cancel your premium after April 1st, you'll not be able to resubscribe, and you'll need to Plus membership. So yeah, you need either membership, like a premium membership, or if you, or starting April 1st if you need a Plus membership. Just to throw that update out there. And then another staff member answering the same question about how premium's gonna cover the eligibility. Purpose of recurring Plus subscription indicates that you're an active part of the community. Again, why do you need to pay $5 a month to show that you're an active part of the community? Is gaining player badges not enough for these people? Or just even playing games? Like, you can't be serious. And again, this whole thing has been said already, how bad actors overwhelm Irish system with a large number of accounts. We need to pay hundreds or thousands of dollars a month. Like, okay, that's the only upside to this whole ordeal. Like, okay. But it's at the expense of who knows how many smaller developers that are just gonna lose everything because of it. For initial launch, you need 500 unique plays by age-checked, highly engaged, which is, again, very specific, highly engaged users, 16 and older in the last 30 days. Who knows how many there actually are. And who knows, I might have read this already, too, but... Again... Roblox Kids and Select are currently will only govern age-based access to games and communication games. At this time, we don't have plans to add any age-based restrictions based on purchase of content such as models for the Creator Store. Licensing creators earn apparently 100% of on transactions for sales of any model or plugin for the Creator Store. 100, like the whole thing. Interesting that they bring that up, quite frankly. Like, only if Roblox wouldn't shoot themselves so many times with these updates, I probably would have still been lingering around, just trying to make stuff and get Robux that way. But again. Okay, now here's one about gift cards. Our plan is to allow gift cards to pay for Roblox Plus within the next 3 months, which people who make condos probably use gift cards to hide their identity, even though the purchase of it could be used with either, I don't know if cash would cover it, but definitely credit card, for sure. And I brought it up because, you know, I've purchased stuff related to Roblox. Not recently, but over a year ago. If our game fails the evaluation process, can we fix what was wrong and be reevaluate? Okay. Now this is a very, again, interesting question. Because what happens if the evaluation process ends up failing somehow? It's like you won't be able to appeal the evaluation process if it's below the threshold. But if it does pass the threshold and it fails due to somehow violating community standards or there's a misunderstanding, then there will be a notification and opportunity to appeal. Successful appeals will result in becoming available again, so who knows, again, if they're going to use AI to find out if it reaches the threshold or not. I'm surprised Matt Kaufman actually answered this one. It says, recent changes, including requiring an age check to chat, have been met with intense negative feedback from both developers and influencers alike, both which are the biggest drivers of Roblox revenue. However, despite pushback from these groups, Roblox has moved forward with no compromise on the changes they are surely aware are the least popular. These new requirements are demonstrated to be some of the least popular changes to date. Does Roblox take into account maintaining good developer relations despite no apparent reception to feedback? Is Roblox aware of the impact it may face on the current platform and its future ambitions so developers and influencers can continue to be growingly frustrated with the platform? If so, why has Roblox continued to make zero concessions with their last popular changes despite overwhelming feedback and increasing frustration? Again, good question. I'm surprised Matt Kaufman actually covered this one. And they go on to describe how their job is to balance every needs of every part of the community. And we've heard loudly from parents and policymakers about content for children and how to balance safety and freedom. And then here's the interesting part. On the HS specifically, we understand it's unpopular, but the honest reality is that the cost of not acting is greater than the friction of acting. Okay, sure. But without these requirements, Roblox risks losing access in entire regions, such as the Middle East, the Philippines. Heck, you could just say Southeast Asia as well. Like the Middle East, Southeast Asia, Europe, potentially, even. It's just like half of the world. Which means fewer players, smaller audiences, less opportunity for every creator influencer built on the platform. Some Roblox everywhere is better than full Roblox nowhere. What one analogy. There are more responsibilities that come with our scale, blah, 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 blah. Okay. A whole load of something. Alright. Will Roblox continue to consider the pricing of Roblox Plus for developers who are based in countries where the currency value is low, meaning they pay a lot more for a subscription? And they said we'll explore more ways to make it accessible globally. We're within the last 10 replies, believe it or not. How will these affect well-established games? My concern is that we're going to have to redo our verification process, lose access to under 16. These new... Okay, of course the requirements are going to affect every single game. The process length will vary based on how quickly we can establish an accurate safety profile on your game. That will be faster for well-established games. The best thing you can do is expedite this process is to regularly update your game, address user feedback, and promote games to over 16. Okay. They're saying, like, yeah, this is what you can do and not what we can do. Very delightful stuff, by the way. Just totally. It's not like I'm mad or irritated or anything. No. Hardly ever. Okay. Since game publishing requirements only apply to group owners, how will you ensure that this isn't abused? And how you will tell the difference between a studio releasing multiple games and a group exploiting said feature? With the response saying that they have limitations on how many games can be published on a daily basis, and safety systems in place to ensure groups aren't able to abuse the system. We'll continue to monitor this. We want to make it as easy as we could for legitimate groups and group-owned games, which is why we're only requiring the group owner to meet the publishing eligibility requirements. Fair enough. For creators without a credit card, we're exploring ways to pay for your Robux. Why is there a requirement for something that'll be incredibly simple to obtain? I don't mind, but I don't understand. It seems rather arbitrary at that point. I'll make this for eligible creators as well as the 6-month free rather than having a roundabout system. That is fair feedback. The point of Plus is not that it should be hard to sign up for, that it creates an ongoing cost friction for bad actors. At least apparently. Like, don't these bad actors have jobs? Where if they have the jobs and they get paid, they can spend the money on Robux and Roblox as a whole, and then make more of this degeneracy that is an absolute tumor to the entire website. At the same time, we want legitimate creators to be able to meet requirement in more regions and situations, so offer more ways to pay is about accessibility. Well, if that's the case, I don't know, this is getting questionably confusing. Like, you want to have bad actors, waste more money, but also make it more accessible for legitimate creators. Like, I get both points, but... And with the plus requirement, like, the bad actors, at least seemingly, could just pay up money with their Roblox gift cards, which, is purchased at the store, And then they're talking about the age ratings again. And then Matt Collins said, while we're using age 16 to delineate access to select accounts, we are not introducing an age rating as such. Which, okay. In the US, players will see ESRB ratings, which is everyone 10 and up, teen and mature. And in Indonesia, they have a different rating system, which has all of these numbers. 3+, 7+, 13+, 15+, and 18+. And then, Build to Inspire, Ring. As will the framework implementation be a manual review by moderators or similar to current content maturity questionnaire? And then we'll be sharing more soon. It'll be similar to the maturity and compliance questionnaire framework and all this other stuff. We are within the final 5 questions, by the way. Can't you, make a manual verification? Basically, it'll check playtime, how much Robux we spent, and which games are public, and anything that would be safe without risking anything, or rather make a category of old and new developers. Which, Matt Kaufman again responds with signals like account history, playtime, spending, and creator tenure. And those can absolutely help us assess risk. The challenge is that those signals are still indirect. A long-standing or high-spend account can still be compromised, transferred, or used in ways that don't give us enough confidence in the creator is reaching the youngest users on the platform. Like, if we're talking about account age, then yes. Like, anyone could be hacked and all this other crap. Furthermore, some parts of the world, regulators require a direct age measurement. Okay. That's why and because of those same regulators is why they're hinting at straight up forking your ID to Roblox, a subscription, and two-factor authentication. That's fine by me. Just two-factor authentication and moderation background. At least the history of it. Some people are experiencing issues linking we're also we're also actively working on expanding support for creators in Vietnam. We'll share updates. We don't recommend trying to change or spoof your location to work around this. VPNs. And then here's the final two answers being refer to your answer here as the final two. And yes, we are officially done reading through all of this. Or at least, so I think we're done. I will go through and see what hasn't been answered. This one hasn't been answered here. Like, there has been a couple of, you know... There's been a couple of questions that has never been answered by them. So, like, I know the Lifetime Bills Club thing and Premium, that got answered. But when asked by a different person... Hold on, I've seen something asking whether or not they should... Oh. 99% creators absolutely do not earn enough to pay for Plus. What are you on? And it's... Again, this person with the muffin display name, and I can't even load profiles. Of course I can't. I have to scan your face to find out. Well, that's just goofy. Will this only be available for select creators with the credit card thing? Let me go up again. Find that question. Anything else from you guys? Has this guy's question got... Yeah, it got answered. Let me see where... Okay, yeah, there we go. This makes me wonder, can you please consider dropping the Plus requirement in favor of a one-time fee on first upload of the game? Surely this would be just as effective. Like, if you pay, like... I don't know. It's like, if you have that mixed with alt detection thing, then maybe it'll allegedly work the same way. Again, you don't. No. Crap. Any comments about the AMA? And everything else related to it? Alright, I'm going to open up the post that I was brought to my attention in my tabs here. At least, eventually. Any minute now, it's gonna load. Like, yes, there might be lag, but it's not gonna go flashing. At least I hope not. With the black screen of not loading. Which, okay, is it even surprised that they're not even doing lifetime subscriptions? And someone just said, yeah, gift cards will be unusable
for Roblox Plus. Initially. Just initially. Because they said, we plan to allow it within the next 3 months. Like, why didn't you do this before rushing it out like it's a... Like it's... you know... It's a needer... like it's needed to happen. You know? How many life... Alright, let's see here. Is there anything else? Yeah, I wonder why this guy has never got his question answered. By the way. I wonder why. So that will probably wrap things up. So if you guys like this stream, by chance, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications to stay notified for either the next stream or the next video. And folks, this is the time to, you know, say your last thoughts about everything, and, you know, just comments in general. And I'll give you guys about 5 minutes while I'll just scroll up very slowly to see if there's somehow anything that I managed to miss entirely. Which is definitely possible, because it did, you know, skip down to see what, you know, the moderators would say, but again, what consideration has been given to skill contributors operating under revenue share arrangements whose own times may not meet the threshold purely due to scale rather than skill or effort? No answer. But yeah, this stream will end in about 3 minutes, by the way. So I can, you know, give my computer a bit of a breather. If you already can't tell by how it's just, you know, making noise throughout the stream or whatever.
I wonder why this question didn't get any response. Did they just look at some of them and not all of the questions? Is that what's happening here? Alright, let me see if there's any more comments. It doesn't look like there is, and I will see you guys later.